Welcome to Playing the Field, the Bachelor podcast. I'm Jen Matarese, and joining me is Gina Sirico from KBC, Bachelor Insider. How's it going, Gina?
It's good. It's good.
Our fearless leader is off.
Yeah, well,
Ryan will be
it
back
is what
next
it is.
week.
Yes,
He'll be back.
yes, for sure, for sure. But it's good. It's like we're in that little bit of lull between Paradise and Golden. So excited to get on to a new season. It'll be fun. Be fun chats, different chats, but fun for sure.
Yes. And I thought this week we could take a look at some of the happy couples and members of happy couples that we've spoken to over the past several weeks, couple months. And, just remind all our viewers and listeners how they're doing and how they got to where they are.
Yeah, like Bachelor in Paradise works. But the funny part is our first couple didn't even meet on Paradise, which is the funniest part. So of course we're talking about Alli Joe and Sam. They had been on each other's radar, and they afterwards they met up, and here's what they had to say about their romance.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start. I mean, we did chat a little bit before Paradise. I actually slid into his DMs because there was a commonality of somebody that we his family, his sister knows, and that's somebody I knew through work. So I had just messaged him because I happened to have been with that person who was related, whatever. So we kind of knew of each other through somebody else. And then at one point I got compared to him on Grant's season. So we were just chatting about that and just chatting about, social media and how people can be on social media, a lot of haters, a lot of mean things out there. And he basically was just chin up type of thing. Months had gone by. I had posted a photo on Instagram, and he DM'd me because on my caption it said personality pic. And he was like, oh, and I might have a feeling I know what that's for. So we were just chatting, and it was about Paradise. So he was like, are you going? And I was like, I haven't gotten a definite answer. I'm not really sure, if I get the opportunity to, and I'm single at the time, then yeah, great, but let's see what happens. And I asked him, the same thing, and he had kind of the same answer. So I wanted to ask him more questions, but I was like, if he is going to be in Paradise, I don't want to know a lot of things about him before we get to the beach. So I was really hopeful he was going to be there. And he was not. So yeah, that's how everything kind of started, but that really wasn't the start of it.
Okay, so Paradise happens.
Yes.
He goes home, you go home. Then let's pick up from there. Then
yeah. So, well, I got onto the beach with a date card, and I really did not know who was going to be on besides the two men that the whole world knew that was going to be on, right? So I was hopeful he was going to be there, and I had a date card, and if he was there, I really did want to take him. And I remember coming off the jet ski on the beach, and I said to Alex, and I was like, is Sam M here? And she was like, no, he got sent home last night. And I was like, are you kidding me? The one person that was in my mind, and I finally have a date card, isn't here. So when I got sent home and I got my phone back, I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I heard you were here just a couple hours ago. And he was like, no way, you're there or you're not there. What's the deal? He was like, call me, here's my number. So I called him. And yeah, ever since I got home, we have been talking. Or now we're actually dating. So
I love that. I love that. It's organic, but not show related, but then not. And no, it's great. I'm glad. Tell us something about him. I feel like you mentioned it, that you guys talked about the sort of feeling that people had about him and about you on both seasons. But tell us something, dispel that. Tell us something about Sam that maybe we didn't see on his season on Paradise. Tell us something about him that we really maybe we missed.
he is so intentional, and I know online a lot of people say he just rambles or he says this or he says that. He is so intentional when he speaks, and he's speaking directly to you. I think he is an extremely smart person, and I think a lot of people discredit that because of, how he was portrayed, but he is really smart. If I'm with somebody, my person, I want to be able to looks are amazing, but I want to be able to confide in that person be able to support and give me advice. And that's one thing that I've said I've always wanted. Even when I was on in Grant's season, and something that I lacked in other relationships that I've had, but he is so supportive. He pushes me to do better. And we have we both have very strong personalities, but we hear each other out, and I think we complement each other really well. But yeah, he's just relentless. He's a go-getter, but he also has like a very, very sweet side to him, and he's extremely caring. So yeah.
Your first date?
Yeah, it's so funny. Thursday is actually 4 months since we started like talking, if you want to say it. But our first date, he was in Florida. He came to visit me here, and I honestly didn't know if it was going to go well. It was my friend's 30th birthday that weekend. So our first date, we went to the beach. It was a very long date because it led into the night. We went to the beach. We had a couple of drinks. We went to happy hour, and then that night we went to a really nice dinner, and the Panthers were playing, so we went out to watch the hockey game. It was a really fun first date and the longest first date that I've ever had.
I love that. And so now how is it? I mean, obviously long distance, he's in South Carolina, right? And you're in Florida. So talk to me about like how you guys have talked about how this is going to work. Are you going to give a time limit of like how long you'll go without seeing each other? Like, how's that all playing out?
It's so funny because me and him always like we do definitely confide in each other. We're both so transparent, and like our both of our mottos is we got nothing to lose. So like we have had these conversations, and for right now, the long distance thing is working for us. We've seen each other like every other weekend for the last 2 months, I would say. And it's really great that it's less than an hour and a half flight from to South Carolina and South Carolina to Florida. So yeah, I actually spent a weekend with him, and he coached his kids baseball team. It was like this whole tournament. It was really fun to watch. But right now it's working, and we'll see what happens. But I am 31, and I kind of know what I want, and we have had important discussions already, so I think it's trending in a nice way.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Like, I'm telling you, Gina, this is some real girl talk here.
Yes. We love that.
It's Ryan, our co-host, but it's kind of fun to have just the girls sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't tell him. Well, we'll
No.
tell him.
I think he'll find out.
We were fortunate enough to talk to Alli Joe this past week, and she was just saying the sweetest things about you. So if you could tell us, what is it that you like so much about her?
I think she's just very intentional. I also love that she has a very strong personality, a very strong voice. You can just tell that she's gonna says things like she sees it, like she means it, and I love that because I think that's very rare in today's world. I think as the whole world knows, I'm definitely somebody that's gonna call it like I see it as well. So I think it just opens up the door for such trustworthy and valuable communication that it just makes things tough to beat whenever you can be so thoroughly honest with each other. Plus, I think most of our lives and the things that we hold truest and dearest to ourselves, they all align, like the importance of family, the importance for always wanting more, wanting a better life than the way that we've got it right now. It's the little things like that. I think when you can get those to align and both be very open in your communication, it just opens up the door for such a successful relationship. And I feel like that's kind of what we're working towards right now.
That's great.
Yeah, she told us the same thing about you, that, you are also very intentional in how you speak and how you speak to her, and that you guys have also had some of those important conversations. So talk to us a little bit about, like, this didn't happen on camera, which I feel like may be better for you. I feel like that worked in your favor. Do you feel that as well?
I think there's pros and cons to everything. I think that the good Lord probably protected her and myself from maybe all of this unfolding on camera. Maybe we wouldn't have had the opportunity to have some of the conversations that we've had behind closed doors. So I think there's probably a little bit of a blessing in disguise there, probably one that we can't see because obviously we were both bummed to not cross paths on Paradise. But you can't cry about it. You either just make it happen, or you sit and you sulk in what could have been. So I think there's probably a little bit of a bittersweet feeling right there. But ultimately, I think both of us are very happy to kind of be where we're at right now and to have had the conversations that we've had without a camera in front of our face or, a mic strapped to our chest. So definitely pros and cons to all of it. But I think ultimately her and I are both probably winning in the long game right now.
Well, like you mentioned, Gina, they didn't even meet on Paradise, but one couple who did meet on Paradise, and day one, it was pretty obvious they were meant to be, is Jess and Spencer.
Yeah, I got to talk to Jess. You know, you could see from a mile away that they were going to be like, they were like magnets that first day. And I got to chat with her, you know, just like kind of mid-season, or no, actually in the beginning of the season. You could tell even then that she was the smitten kitten. So let's hear what she had to say.
I tried to go in with no expectations because this is kind of sad, but like I don't want to be let down. So I'm like, you know what? If I go and I'm just like, hopefully there'll be someone there, but if not, at least I'll see my friends and hopefully have a good day or two, and then I'll get to go back home and see my dog. You know what I mean? So I was just really trying to stay positive. And then right off the bat, walking in and seeing Spencer, I was like, oh yes, here we go. He was my number one on my radar, and seeing him, I was like, all right, okay, we really got to kick it into high gear.
We've got this. Wait, let's
No, I'm like, wait, you guys, who has my lip gloss?
Oh my God. It must have felt like, did you know, like when you saw him immediately that like, oh yeah, this could be a little something
Well,
between those
I
gappers.
felt it, but I was like, I don't know if he's gonna like, maybe I'm not his type. Maybe he's not gonna like my personality. So I was really just like, I'm gonna get in there and talk to him as soon as possible so that we can see if, we click.
And it seemed like you did.
Yeah.
What was the first thing about Spencer that you were like, yep?
He was just so bubbly. Like, obviously, he's super attractive. And on Gen season, we saw that he was, very emotionally intelligent. He had all of his ducks in a row and a lot going for him, but you don't really see much of his personality, I'm going to say, because immediately I'm like, wow, you are so bubbly and you're kind of funny. I don't want to give him too much credit, but like, he's pretty funny.
Going back to episode 1, you were a little without drama because you had a little love triangle going on. Sam comes in. Were you just immediately like, okay, wait a minute, this guy's he's interesting? Were you worried about your feelings for Spencer, or were you just kind of like, I'm here to explore, let's do this?
I think it was honestly a little bit of both. To be honest, I think that part of me was like, oh, well, he definitely could be interesting. Like, he's attractive. I want to have a conversation. But I was like, I already clicked with this person so much. Like, you don't like, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So I don't want to be put in a situation where I'm giving someone else too much time and then my first connection is no more. So I think it was really important for me to have that conversation with Spencer right after I talked to Sam. I didn't know if he was going to take me on the date or not, but I kind of felt the vibe. So I'm like, I'm going to pull him, which you don't even really get to see that. But I'm like, I want to see his thoughts and see how he feels about it and go from there.
It's so funny. When I saw that he was going to be on, I was like, well, this is interesting. Are they trying to do a little redemption arc for him? Because I know that there was just so much drama around him during Gen season. Being a part of Bachelor Nation, you probably knew some of that. Were you just kind of like, I'm going to give everybody like, clean slate here. This is kind of a new thing.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm gonna give him a chance and see how it goes.
100%, because that's exactly what I wanted everyone to do for me. So like no preconceived judgments at all. Clean slate. I don't care what happened on your season. Show me you.
Okay. They are so cute. Jess is adorable. They've now like met each other's families. He went to Tennessee to meet her family. She's been in Dallas. So like they're doing great and I'm really happy for them.
And our Golden Bachelorette couple, Joan and Chock, also very much involved with each other's families. And they say they aren't married yet, but they're doing really well together. And they gave us a really nice update.
What have the last 10 months been like for you as you have this new amazing woman in your life?
It's been pretty hectic. A lot of times in airplane, a lot of, times, days, weeks in airplanes, but it's been great. We've got to see a lot of the United States, done a couple overseas trips. Spent a lot of time with family, and just this last week we were in New York with her Aunt Henny and her mother Mary. Had a great time there. They were great hosts. Mary kind of copped us on the whole deal, and it was fun. We ate well, 2 good plays, and stayed at a great place. So it was a very good time.
Nothing like a weekend in New York, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So what has been the best part of this experience for you, other than meeting Joan, of course, but has it afforded you guys a lot of different opportunities that you might not have ever have gotten the chance to do?
Well, Joan, have you answered that? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, your turn. I've been talking a lot.
Okay. The opportunities are really, it's love. You know, we're a little bit up in age. Joan nor I, and I think I could speak for her. We didn't do this for fame or fortune. And, you chase a little bit of that, and it's a lot of hard work. You don't realize that. I think the people out there in social media think that it's just real easy. But, and you want to, I'm just jumping around, but you want to post, things that matter to you and should matter to other people. But it's, the whole thing is just the opportunity to meet Joan, to meet a lot of great guys, to meet Joan's family, to spend time together and work on our future. So it's, and we've spent a lot of time together. We really have, for people that live, a couple thousand miles away. It's been good. And we travel well together, which makes it very easy.
We were just talking about how you guys kind of like Joan as the Golden Bachelorette got to do it right, essentially, where like she got to kind of like set the tone and really like make her own rules about, about just like what she wants out of the relationship for both sides of it. You know what I mean? So it's great that to see it kind of like really be a success. Chock, for you, like we were talking to Joan about things that she learned about you, in this time. What have you learned about Joan? Like, obviously, we do know that you have a crazy sock collection.
Say that, Chock.
She didn't talk about that. I just remembered.
And this is, I probably shouldn't use the brand name, but Bombas, I've come to.
Oh, yeah.
They are fantastic. And I don't get paid by them, but, they fit so well. They're no shows. I wore them this morning, and I'm wearing them now. So I love my socks. We were at a mall in Maryland. It was just an incredible fancy mall. There was this just exclusive sock store, and I was like, I got to go in. Joe's like, no, you can't. You ain't enough. Yeah, so I made it past that. So I'm working on my addiction problems. And I'm sorry. Let's go back to the question, because you got me flustered on socks.
Sorry, man. Sorry. What have you learned about her in this time that you've had since the engagement and the announcement of your engagement in the finale that like has maybe surprised you?
Well, I knew she was, here's the very positive thing is from the day one when I started doing research on Joan, she mentioned her family and how important they are to her. And just this last week in New York was a testament. And Joan called me and she said, hey, would you do this for my grandmother? And I said, absolutely. These few days that we had there. So her family is so important to her, from her aunt to her mother, to her kids, to her in-laws, to all her 3 grandbabies, and her friends are very important too. And so that's one thing that I really love about her. And then, you find out too is, can you, quasi, we don't live together, but we spend time together. Are you okay with that? It's from the temperature to the fans, to the TVs on, to those type of things. And I think when you're younger, that stuff might bother you a little bit, but when you're older, you're just like, hey, it's okay. We'll work through this. So Joan is competitive. I've said that too. A crossword puzzle, she's going to take you to the end. Math tests, those type of things. The one thing I will not compete with her is speed racing, driving through DC. One that. And then trying to find the best parking spot in the world. She has that hands down. She's number 1, and then her friend Linda is number 2, and then my daughter is number 3. And so that's one of the fun things about getting to know people. But Joan's a great person, a great dresser, has great taste, and again, she loves her family.
Well, listen, and we're going to get to the Golden Bachelor cast here that's going to be joining Bachelor in Paradise. We're going to get to that in a second. But just listening to you two talk, and I mean this in the best way possible, you sound like an old married couple. It doesn't seem like you've only known each other for 10 months. Is that crazy for me to say? It seems like you two have known each other so much longer than that and have been together so much longer than that.
Well, and at times it feels like 5 to 6 to 7 years where you're like, okay, whatever. let's just make it easy on both of us. Where do you want to eat? What do you want to do? So, no, that's that's one of the beauties that I'm going to say a mature relationship.
Joan, do you agree?
Yeah, we kind of got to that comfort level really quickly. We were, in fact, it happened, I felt like, and I don't know if Chock felt the same way, but when we were in Disneyland, which was the very first date on the show, I took Gina. I remember. Yes. And took them on that very first date, and we were like super comfortable with each other right away. We started talking to the point where the producers were around us after maybe the first 15 minutes, and they go, could you like look at the sites and like go, oh, there's Mickey, or say something? And it's because we were so involved in like our conversation and getting to know each other as we walked down the streets with like the cameramen were walking backwards, in front of us. There were, people everywhere. We were surrounded by this whole, group of people, the whole entourage of people filming. And we were like in our own little world. We really were. So we had that comfort very, very, very quickly, which makes it easy to kind of move through the steps of the relationship to kind of get to the end where you need to be at the end of the show. When you're making the big decision, it happened really early for us, which was really good because it made the progression pretty easy.
You two were smitten kittens when I talked to you, and I talked to you separately. So when I saw Chock, I was like, oh yeah, he's head over heels. And the same with you too. Like when we spoke afterwards, it was like, yep. She's in.
For the record, Gina was also smitten with both of you, just so we're clear on that.
She was like Team Joan and Chock from the very beginning. For sure.
I told you guys it was that date. It was that date where I was like, yep, that was it. So I was correct.
You were?
Yeah, it was pretty good. You were good. Well, you're an old Bachelor person, so you can tell. Tell in a minute.
I was going to say, Gina is not going to like that.
Old. I meant like experience old. We're old.
It's what makes her an expert. Right?
It's what makes her an expert.
You're way at the best.
I think I don't want to play favorites, but I think out of everybody, I think they might be my favorite couple to come out of Bachelor Nation that I've had the pleasure of talking to and all of that. They're just so sweet. I saw Chock recently at the Rams game where we met the Golden Bachelor, and he's so happy. He and Joan are they're just the sweetest couple. He's the nicest man. And I'll be waiting patiently by the mail for my invitation to the wedding. That's all
They
I'm
are
saying.
great together. They're wonderful together.
Yeah, that wraps it up. Hopefully we are going to have a happy couple this next season with the Golden Bachelor, which starts very soon. It starts next week, and we can't wait to kind of clock that journey. So Jen, what do we have to do?
Oh, like and follow us so you can get all our latest episodes. And we'll also have an episode immediately after that Golden Bachelor episode.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. I'm really interested to see how it plays out, because there's a lot. It might be the most dramatic premiere ever, I think. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that wraps up this episode of Playing the Field, a Bachelor podcast. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you real soon.